homeless population is on everybody's mind. To have someone pull up on an off-ramp and already have something ready for you, you know, it shows that people care.
We obey the Lord, His command to go out into the highways, the byways and the hedges and compel them to come in. That's a command from God. And there's volunteers, about 500 volunteers from more than 50 different congregations here in the city. And we all believe the same, that we need to do the Lord's work, and that the food, the clothing, the bus passes, the friendship is all important to the person who's all alone on the street.
A couple of months ago, it was the middle of winter, and I was at Louisiana and Central at probably 10:30 at night on a Sunday, and I was not doing anything good. But I was sitting with a friend of mine, and this girl came up to us and she asked if we had a phone and this and that. At that point in time, I find out that she's 17 years old. She's 17 years old at Louisiana and Central in January at 10:30 at night. She was in foster care. The foster care mother had already told her, if you're home late again, you're not coming in. You're going straight back into custody, and that's just it. And I'm there trying to score drugs and get high and maintain my little trip. And I have this girl who's me in so many ways, in so many days, dropped in my lap. And just in walking with her and talking with her, I walked her back to a friend of mine's apartment, and I ended up taking her home with me that night, and we stayed at my friend's house. I took her home, I fed her, I put her in bed, and she was so exhausted. And then to see her get up, and the first thing she wanted to do was call that stupid boyfriend the following morning. So I'm worried about him. Yeah, come on, little girl. And how I wish I could, and so I did get handed me that night. She was me, she is me, and then the only thing that I could do the following day was I had to be the adult. I had to be the adult, and I had to. I put her in the car with me and my friends, and I had to take her, and I dropped her off at CYFD. I turned her into CYFD to her caseworker, and it was the same CYFD office that I had lost my kids through, and I hadn't been in there in 3 years, and I had to take her there and leave her in tears there. And that was really hard, and I'd only been with her for a matter of hours, and most of that she was asleep. And I was glad that she had found me and not anybody else out there that night that she could have found. And and I told her, I was like, please just, you know, and she said that the reason that she was in foster care was she had been, you know, not going to school and running around with her boyfriend and doing stupid teenage shit, and they took her from her mom. And she missed her mom, and her mom loved her dearly, and she was very upset about all of that. And so it was just, it was me in so many ways. And there was nothing that I could do or say to her through any of that was gonna change her, you know, free will and train of thought. And there's nothing, you gotta live and roll through your mistakes and your excuses.
The most important thing, more important than the food, more important than the clothing and the bus passes, more important even than the friendship, is a change in the life. People have lost control of their life, mostly because of drugs and alcohol, and they need a miracle. And the Lord has sent us here to pray with them and to talk with them in the most serious way, so that they could be born again and have a new spirit and a new life and get the miracle they need to go on from that point forward.
think all of us out here, one way or another, alter our minds a little bit. There's a lot of alcoholics, a lot of drug addicts, period, whether it be heroin, speed, cocaine. I myself, if I had to choose a drug of choice, I'd have to say it'd be heroin. I don't use every day. In the past, I have been strung out, where I had to use every day, otherwise I was sick. And it's kind of hard to explain what that feels like. You know, you kind of, it's awful. But now I guess I consider myself a casual user. I don't use every day. I actually make a point of skipping 2 days, using once and then skipping 2 or 3 days, because I don't want to get dependent on it again. And I can't afford it. I mean, I'm not gonna spend my day out here risking getting a ticket or going to jail for flying a sign just to stick a needle in my arm, you know, to do a little heroin. But that doesn't mean that if I have a good day and get a $20 bill or something, that I won't go spend it on it. If I feel the urge, I will.
If somebody wants to help, they could come to Coronado Park every Saturday morning. That's between 3rd Street and 4th Street, where the freeway meets 4th Street, next to Creamland Dairy, immediately south of the freeway overpass. And or they can call. We have a recorded message, 764-0176.
How I became homeless is definitely of my own doing. You know, I don't blame it on anybody's society, the neighborhood, or anything like that. Before I came out here in 2003, I lived with my family in Wisconsin. My parents pretty much took care of me. I lived under their roof. Whether I worked or not, they supported me. You know, I never had any responsibility as far as bills or anything. And I came out here with a job lined up and everything. That worked out for a while. And I actually got into a little legal trouble. I went to jail for a while. Lost my job, lost my housing. And I just haven't been able to get back on my feet since then. Drug addiction plays a pretty major role in it too. I've run the gamut from a teenager smoking pot to doing cocaine in the 80s. And I came out here and I got involved with heroin back in probably 2008, 2009. And it was a real problem for a few years.